I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's basically where I'm at with it right now. Like, I just realized how many people tried to tell me to stop doing shit that I'm destined to do. And then they tried to tell me how to do it. Like I'm them or they me. And we are not the same. Okay? So, first of all, I'm feeling this Aquarius energy. Shout out to whoever has a birthday today. Happy birthday. My brother's, his brother's birthday and his dad's birthday, I believe, too. That they all just passed. My uncle's birthdays are coming up. I don't know. Can I say it? I should say it. Yeah. You know, bonus babies' birthdays coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and speak that until it exists. In existence. Yeah, January and February Aquarius birthdays. We still got a couple more weeks of Aquarius season to go before we get into Pisces, where we start, not losing it, but we start, tripping. And you could be outside while you do a trip, or you can be inside when you do a trip. Just know that every Pisces season, you're on a trip. You don't understand the trip fully until you go into Virgo season, because that's when you get the facts of all the delusions, you know what I'm saying? But Pisces is the ending, so you got to end all the illusions from one thing that caused you deception, and then you begin to create new imaginations or new dreams, and then you see it through from Aries season all the way back around, and then Virgo is when you figure out, okay, this is what I got to do, this, and then from Virgo all the way to Pisces is you going through the cycle again. So anyway, Moon in Scorpio. Right now we got 3 degrees on the 3rd of February. The moon is going to oppose Uranus first. It's already squaring Venus, then Saturn, which is talking to Chiron right now, giving us opportunity to heal or try, not really heal, because Chiron doesn't really heal anything. It just causes you to pay attention to the things that require healing, that you have like a gaping wound about. So whatever your biggest wound is in your life, Saturn is telling you to check it out, get it together, take responsibility as much as you can for anything that's hurt or bruised your ego in the past, and could be still doing it in the present. Now, because it's something that won't be completely resolved, but you're just learning how to heal with it and grow with it. Having that patience really pays off. So we got Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, the Sun, and Mercury all in Aquarius. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 placements. Pluto is still 25 degrees Capricorn, getting closer and closer, to the end here. The moon will square Jupiter at 10 degrees, the Sun at 15, while opposing Mars 14 degrees, and then square over to Mercury retrograde. So I feel like that's us finding out something we didn't know, but we kind of felt. It kind of comes to light. And trining, of course, in between time to Neptune. So get rid of some illusions or delusions we used to have, like completely letting something go that, was a good idea, but honestly, it just, it's a dud. So, you already knew, but, sometimes we just gotta be a little hard-headed so we can get the most out of our time and situations. But the sun is starting to trine over to the North Node in Gemini as well. So we got a lot of good. It feels very positive. At least for me, I've been having major downloads all day today with the sun passing over my moon. Jupiter is next. and Mars squaring my moon and opposing my Pluto. So I definitely felt a big adjustment to, some of the things I do know how to do. Some works, some superpowers. So shout out to Pluto, Scorpio, gang. All right, so let's get into this moon in Scorpio. As we all know, Scorpio is about revealing the dark truth, hidden truth. So once you become abreast or enlightened to the darker side, which means accepting emotionally the truth, so that you're able to transform from one situation into another. With the opposition to Taurus, with Uranus, we're going through an upgrade to how we accumulate our personal value with ourselves, and that is the first stepping stone into building a long-term business, entrepreneurship, things like that. With Mars then coming soon after, we get a little push in, making it happen, or seeing where the opportunity is that we can take before it trines over to Neptune, which is, still at a square with the nose, where we still might have questions, but it's just about taking just the first step. So let's get into this reading here with the Scorpio moon. So we're starting out with the first thing, the underlying situation. Number one is 12th house escape. So that's a 36, which is a 9. So if we're looking to escape from everything going on in the world now, we're looking to escape the current economy and create our own. We're looking to escape old patterns of relationships and start one that are new and wholesome. We're looking to escape places where we used to live, that we called home, doesn't no longer feel like a home. It feels like you're visiting. Escape friendships or even close family, ties that, seemed distant, but there's actually potential to grow, or, you thought you were pretty close to them, but now you're starting to realize that it was just all a lie. So the second one, what we need to pay attention to is Saturn return, 50 age. What are we learning through this Saturn return, or the last Saturn return, Saturn in Capricorn? What we learned last Saturn in Capricorn that just happened, which was a 30-year gap between the last one. Shout out to everybody who had their Saturn return. Last Saturn transit, Saturn Capricorn. Shout out to y'all, especially the triples. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop, gang, gang. Saturn return has a lot to do with aging, but it's not physically aging, even though a lot of people feel like they succumb to physical aging and then woe is me. It's not like that at all. It all starts in the mind. So we had to essentially just grow up mentally in order for us to see the potential in what we have to manifest on this earth with the time that we have here, and to use it wisely. So that's something that we want to bring attention to. We also want to bring attention to, with that escapism, being wise with things that you do need to stop eluding yourself to, or giving yourself illusions about, and just be, realistic. Don't fight the realism. Just roll with it. So what we need to do, or what we're going to do, Mars 5, create change by taking action, using our vital force, our life force, Holy Spirit, things of that nature, to progress with this Mars in Taurus right now. It's squaring the sun, Aquarius energy. So we are feeling the challenge between being ourselves and respecting others' values or boundaries, or, monies, or how they get it individually. It's a T-square going on between, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And the way out is through the heart, Leo. So we definitely want to use our 5 energy, our ability to be in balance, to create change and to celebrate what we've done so far, even if we've just had a Saturn return or we're about to experience one right now. We definitely want to have some joy. Make room for joy. Build a life that you won't have to escape from. If you need to escape life all the time to avoid dealing with situations, you need to grow up. Simply put. Okay, so the outcome we have here is 11th house, friends. So we have that's a 35, which is an 8. So we got 5, 5, 5, 5 here. Representing. And at the bottom we have part of fortune increase, 45, which is a 9. So we got 2 complete 5s and 8 and 2 9s. Just doing the numbers on that. So I can't wait for my new deck to come because I can't wait to use it. But let's get into it. So let's look at this escape first. So the 12th house is about undoing, basically becoming completely vulnerable to your imagination or your dreams. Sometimes they can be scary. A lot of people, do have nightmares or have dreams that scare them. But not looking at it so physically, because the 12th house is water. So water is just about, it's a recall, like memories and things like that. You can use it, but you can also create new memories. So just because you have a dream about something that made you sad or scared you, it doesn't mean that that's the literal meaning of the dream. It's actually something very emotionally underlying about that dream that needs to be recalled in a flipped way, more than likely. Mirrors, even recording cameras, all ruled by 12th house, Neptune energy, Pisces energy. So, and the 12th house is Pisces. So it's like you think things are one way when it's actually another. Like it's some form of deception there. So you could be deceiving yourself. You could be deceiving others, or others could feel deceived by you. Depending on, what you're trying to escape or run to and what you're trying to run from. So, although we can't control how other people act, we can only be responsible for ourselves. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's look at this 12th house escape automatically here. First 2 cards that come out. The High Priestess, Moon energy. You already know. 9 of Swords. You already know what to take action on. You already know what your escapism is about, or what you are escaping to, or why it's time for you to escape something. 8 of Pentacles, escaping something you've been working on, or escaping to work, or making a decision to go to something that may be more lucrative, but you got to give up something. You got to release something that you're holding on to. At the bottom we have the Empress. It was inverted or upside down, but you got to give up something that you may have been creating for a long time, or you've been building for a long time. Empress is Taurus as well, but Venus nonetheless. Venus is right now in Aquarius, squaring the moon. So in Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius squaring Scorpio moon. So yeah, we might have to make a decision to let something go, because it might look nice, but it might not actually be that well. It's not. Something might be, especially, I say work because it was the 8 of Pentacles, a job, something that you've been working on or working to get. And 2 of Pentacles, I just think we might be going back and forth about money, or how we can build or manifest money. You may want to escape your current job or your current possession because it's coming to an end soon. So you want to start making arrangements to do other things. Start being more productive as far as getting to ownership of just some business or partnerships that you can create right now. Look into something that you're good at that makes you feel like you're escaping, that feels meditative. What feels like you're having an outer body experience, but you're being creative. What's something like that you want to escape to that can actually bring you a lot of good ideas to act on, that'll bring you more prosperity or the abundance you're looking to have, that you've been trying to work on for so long, doing all these other little, small time jobs, but you haven't been fully compensated for the creativity you have, because one, you haven't given yourself a chance to be that creative, and or two, we've all been running under certain programs and surrounded by certain people, well-meaning or not, that makes us question, whether we should escape our dream or continue to live in it and continue to manifest it. So let's look at this Saturn return age, something we should pay attention to or something to avoid. Okay, so we learned, one, we want to let our conscience shift, of course, but at the same time, you don't want to take too much time making a decision or acting on something. I get that very strong. And then 7 of Pentacles at the bottom. 7 of Pentacles, Taurus energy right here. Saturn and Taurus. And Saturn and Uranus is squaring right now, 1 degree away. A degree and a half away almost. So we are looking at things very intently right now. We are taking our time and examining what it is that we've been doing with our time and what we want to do with our time in the future. So when we do come up with this escape plan, we're actually going to do something that's actually constructive, beneficial, allows you to, again, at the bottom, part of fortune, increase, your fortune, your wheel of fortune, because the tides are turning. There is a message when it comes to working. You may be waiting for a response about working with people or getting a new job, or, there's a waiting period when it comes to some form of teamwork. It could be you, your physical, your higher self, and the overall, universal one. But, you may be waiting for someone to take a chance on you, or to give you an offer. You don't have to wait for anybody for anything. Just keep building and keep moving and keep growing on your own. And whoever's meant to be there with you, they will show up. They will be there. Some people, it might take them a lot of time. Some people might not believe in everything, or they might think you're weird, crazy. This is Aquarius, weird. They could think you're weird. Or other people might think some of the things that you do with other people are weird. But it's okay. You'll learn something on your own that you can't learn with other people. So let's look at this Mars force card. Mars force. So what are we using our force for? Okay. Learn something. Both of these are red. So we're basically grounding our passion. We're learning how to ground what it is that we want. Uranus and Mars and Taurus. We're learning how to ground with this energy. With the opposition, with the moon in Scorpio, we're going to see I want to say scary truth because it's Scorpio, but we will see a truth behind, some lessons, if we haven't already been, self-evaluating why we do the things that we do and don't do, and making decisions through those stages. Aquarius energy here again, the 6 of Swords. You're going to learn why you were guided to do the things that you were doing. What's coming to me real strongly is that you may have went all out and the job you are at now, or the relationship you are in now, or the team building that you're doing now, or investing, Scorpio. You may have done a lot of investing into certain stocks or companies, just period. It's just about you, where you're investing your emotional energy. And right now you feel called to respond to what you've been holding on to emotionally that needs to come up. And once it comes out, it's never going to be the same again, but you have to, allow that lesson that's being forced out of you or squeezed out of you, lemon squeeze, to come out, so that you can not only, right now you may, well, all of us actually may feel like a student at this time, as we're, getting the courage to speak up and say something, to someone. But then once the time has actually passed and, you actually end up feeling better, you move on to calmer waters. Now that you're able to speak up and let something go, you allow the situation to be transformed. Now you have a lesson that you've learned that you could share with others. And your Hierophant is a 5 as well. So we got 2 5s on this one here. You end up learning exactly what it is that you needed to learn in that, communication or that separation, that you wouldn't have picked up or learned any other way. So, yeah, and it has a lot to do with, walking away from situations, people, because it's Aquarius, walking away from people or separating yourselves from people who have values that are different from yours. And it's not, and it doesn't have to be with malice or ill intention. It could just be, things are just not working out well with people the way that you wanted them to, and having to accept the fact that it's okay. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you or that person if you don't collaborate on something at this exact time or this exact moment. It may be time for you to talk about it or get the ideas out, but this is a chill period because there's a lot of air going on that's flying around with all this Aquarius energy. So be real careful with how you do things. Don't make unnecessary accidents if you don't have to. But it's basically like, okay, first of all, we're escaping from something that we know it's time for us to take charge or make a decision about. But right now, we're trying to use the wisdom that we've acquired during this waiting period to go over what is actually necessary and what is not a necessity, according to the values that we are building for ourselves in the long term, not short term, the long term. So if you're making decisions on some temporary, excitement, but you don't want to be involved in that long term, then you should definitely be evaluating the decisions that you're making, because you don't want to make temporary decisions with your life every single day, all day. Yes, things are temporary. Things run out, of course, because everything has a time frame. But if you know you have 24 hours to do something and you choose to procrastinate on getting it done, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself if you lose out on your opportunity. You got the opportunity to be king of something. You have the opportunity to share something that you learned with other people about values, standards, things of that nature. But if, you just got to be aware. Just got to be aware. Under that was the King of Wands. So this is like two people teaming up to, go after their dreams after realizing that they were, with the 8 of Swords and 10 of Swords, they were blocking themselves from success by thinking, negatively, being, so into their ego, or, people just hating that, now with the 5 of Wands, but now they, established a balance and a routine that allows them to create the success that they want. So, this is a very talkative energy. Like I was saying, I feel it definitely, especially with the North Node being energized with the sun. We have an opportunity to start laying the groundwork, and Mercury retrograde, start discussing, ideas about things that you've already been working on or towards, and figuring out, okay, is this going to go long term or is this not going anywhere? And just start making, decisions, because you already know what it is that you want. You already know what you're ready to do or take action on. So do your evaluation, tally it up, and then just, make this decision, learn the lesson, and move forward. There's nothing wrong. There's no such thing as making a wrong or bad choice or decision. It's just that, are you making one, or are you holding the energy up? Are you being so indecisive that you can't, allow the energy just to flow so you can start making decisions again? So the last one is 11th house, friends. 11th house also deals with networking, the abundance you receive from the work you do in the world. So what type of people are you acquiring based on your status in the world? What type of people are you attracting to you, or what opportunities are you attracting to you from the work that you do in the world? Okay, and that's the 35 to the 8. So we're learning lessons. People are maybe revolving, or you seeing a common thing with some friendships. Maybe you are befriending people, out of curiosity, or to avoid loneliness, or, just end up taking on friendships and then learning, down the line that, they was never really a friend. Or maybe they don't even realize that they give off qualities showing that they're not really a true friend, because they have something going on within themselves that need to mature and grow as far as what they value, that they're working on personally. And if it's not working out the way that they want to, we all have been through things like that. Like we are trying to be there and support other people, but we're struggling with some things for ourselves. So it's kind of hard to do that 100% for someone else when we're not able to do that for ourselves. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that's what that 6 of Swords and stuff, having a separation or having time apart from people, to allow them to have their privacy and their time to grow, so that they're able to manifest the way that they need to, so they can, be on the same wave with you. Basically just enjoying life with you. They'll have a chance to, fix their perception so they can go back to enjoying life with you. So it doesn't mean that everything will go back to how it was initially, but you get a chance to have enjoyment with people who have different values and perspectives, or livelihoods, lifestyles that are different, completely different from yours, without having to create, constant fighting or bickering or arguments or anything like that, like low vibrations. So let's look at friends, the outcome. So we got the 3 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. So this could definitely be us, acquiring new friends, acquiring new friendships, traveling somewhere where we start working with new people. Because it's a lot of Earth with Saturn, 7 Pentacles, and then we had the part of Fortune increase, which is this card actually. And the Hierophant, value. This talks about value. So with the moon being a Scorpio, squaring the 11th house energy, which is Aquarius energy, that Scorpio moon is going to show us how people really feel. It's not so much about how other people really feel, but how you feel about the commitments that you've made so far. And where has it gotten you? What are you still, desiring at the end of the day that other people don't know about? And are you willing to share that and be vulnerable and be completely and beautifully, openly honest to reveal your star card moments, Aquarius energy? So what's at the bottom here? 3 of Cups. Yeah, so this is definitely people coming together, people being united, reuniting with those who are on the same soul mission as you. You do have the King of Pentacles under here too, more Earth energy, Taurus energy, so which is opposing the Scorpio moon right now. So overall, we're definitely, just gonna recap over the reading. We're definitely in a time period with this moon cycle where we can be manifesting a bunch of options, and we need to basically make a choice. The choice could have definitely been made last moon cycle, not last cycle, but yesterday's moon, the moon in Libra, where we could have seen where we was very indecisive about something, or we realized that we got to make a decision on if we're going to do this or not, because your time is ticking. Everybody comes here with a timeline and a purpose, and you don't want to waste your time doing something that's not your fucking purpose. So we're going to escape. We're going to start making these decisions. We're going to stop undoing ourselves. We're going to stop self-hating, self-loathing. We're not self-loathing anymore. We're going to self-love. We're going to use our imagination, which is our form of creating with God, to manifest the life that we want. And we're going to take time, especially this week, to analyze with this square we have right now, the 3/4 square moon, or the 1st quarter square moon, actually. Or is it? No, it's the last quarter, the 3rd quarter square. Because before the new moon comes. Because when the new moon comes, I think this is what we're going to see. The new moon, with the friendship Aquarius energy, we're going to see, who we're rolling with. The new moon happens next week on the 11th. So a week from now, we got time to analyze people who are around us. What have we learned from the people that are around us, and how do we feel about what we've learned so far? How do you feel psychologically, from the psych standpoint? What psychic messages have they sent you that they haven't verbally said, that, and how does it make you feel? Because sometimes you could be with people and they could be laughing and smiling in your face, and you'll think everything is cool and you're all good, but then you get the underlying vibes, you get the underlying feelings that a motherfucker hating on your ass and they don't really like you. Pay attention to that shit. You could also be in the reverse with this trine over to Neptune, where you think somebody not even listening to you, or you don't even think they care about you for real like that. And all the while, the underlying unsaid things that they're in love with you, and they can't do anything if they not living their life with you. It goes both ways. Just know just understand and feel what side of the fence you're on with people inside. Because you don't have to have a conversation with that unless you're talking to God, because God's the only person that's going to reveal that to you. That's your inner power, your inner source, God. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what advice we have during this moon transit, because it's nothing but the truth coming out. And again, it might be scary. You might be a bit afraid, but Scorpio is about facing your fears, not being afraid of anything. Like, seriously, not allowing yourself to not be afraid of anything, because whatever happens, do or die, you still got to stand for something. You can't just, go in a ball and go cross somewhere and bitch it out. You can't be no hoe. Every Scorpio I know, whether we agree or disagree, they ain't no hoe. They ain't about no hoe shit. They will literally let you know right or wrong. Like, look, this what the fuck it is, and you can get hip or you can get lost, but I'm going to do my shit. You know what I'm saying? And Aquarian, being a moon and Aquarius person, I ain't mad at that. I'm more than happy to support anybody who understands and lives in their authenticity. But for those who are not, and you can sense that shit from a mile away, you have to act on that. You have to escape from that energy, because you're only going to attract that energy even more into your life. So take a step back, let people get themselves together, or maybe it's you feel like you all over the place, you can't get it together. Take a step back from people and analyze where you are in your life and how far removed from you from being true to yourself, and how can you better develop that relationship with yourself, because it's a commitment that you're making to yourself. Scorpio is about commitments, deep commitments that can't be broken, that can only be made with that 3/4 core, and it's between you. If it's you and another person, it's you, that other person, and the commitment y'all made to God. Because when the whole thing about marriage, sex, is that you're agreeing to engage in this act, knowing who you are, what your strengths is, Mars, sex, penis, whatever, divine masculine energy, you're expressing, you're giving off the energy that you, not only do you understand what you're getting yourself involved to, you understand you are agreeing to a commitment. You're consenting, okay? You're consenting to a promise or an agreement or a covenant with someone else for X amount of time. That's a marriage. That happens between you and God, not you and a whole bunch of other people. And a lot of people get that confused, thinking that, the marriage isn't real if you didn't get married through the government or with a bunch of people there, or if it wasn't big and lavish. You don't need none of that shit to prove that you and this person are going to be together forever. You don't have to prove that to nobody. Period. That's a contract, a covenant, a promise, a sealed agreement between you and God, that person and God, and y'all together. Y'all know that God brought y'all together, so y'all not gonna let God let somebody come in between y'all. The moment you let someone come in between you and your commitment to something, especially to another person, you have begun the degradation of your vow, of your promise, and that has to be evaluated. So, and which is weird because I just wrote like a little like commitment or oath to myself to read. So, because I stay committed to myself. I stay committed to myself in my journey, and I love those who don't support me just as much as I love those who do support me, because you're just showing me exactly who I am and what I need to do. Keep going, period. So what advice do we have during this moon in Scorpio? Boom. Connect to confidence. Connect to confidence. Increase your confidence. What else? What other? And relationships. This card been coming out a lot lately. Relationships. So connect to confidence. Know what you already know what relationships confidently that you are able to confide in. You know who you can trust. You know who you can't trust. You already know this. We all do. We all know who we can and can't trust with certain information and certain things, because we don't want their energy on it. We don't want their vibrations on it. We don't want their thoughts on our thing that we're creating and building. So sometimes you just got to keep it to yourself. That's why people go elope. I mean, joy. Sometimes we do have to keep things that we're happy and excited about to ourselves. And this is not to say that nobody is worthy of sharing in that excitement or happiness with you. It's just that, you recognize the, sensitivity. You recognize the, increase Taurus, I have, in truth, Saturn. The truth is coming out. Like, you can't hide it. So, at least not with yourself. Don't ever hide the truth from yourself. Always be honest with yourself, and then you can be honest with other people. That's all it is. Tell yourself the truth, and then the truth will come to you. The truth will definitely set you free. So, when it comes to joining forces with companies, organizations, people, places, things, that require a commitment, a soul tie being created, make sure you know who you are joining forces with. If you get a bad vibe, follow that vibe to, escape the vibe. That's all you gotta do is escape that vibe. Because if you don't want it, why would the future you want it if you don't want that shit now? And it's okay to admit to some people or places or things. It might be hard, it might be difficult to discuss with people, but sometimes you just gotta say, hey, this is, where we separate. I love you. I just gonna take some time for myself. Maybe just like that. I might have to use that. Okay, so thank you all who tuned in. Thank you, boo. anyone who is looking for or looking to get a reading, they're available. I'm relaunching my website. I'm doing everything differently now. I just came up with a whole bunch of other things that I have been working on, but I haven't really, like I just said about procrastination, but I'm not really procrastinating. I've just been doing other things. But, you know, the rest of those ideas actually came through for me today to connect the dots with. So I'm glad I did take my time and wait. Divine timing, you know what I'm saying? It's awesome. So, yeah, if you would like a reading, you can send me a message directly on here, Instagram, of course, with the date where you'll be available to do a reading. Astrology or tarot, just let me know and I can let you know. All right. Thank you so much again. I really do this because I love it and I love you.